Previously on In Gov's Service Again. The sun blew up and no longer shines over Gov's domain. 5 splinters erupted from Gov's fiery heart before it went dark, slamming into the ground with devastating force. 1 landed a few days outside of Gov's domain, southwest of Sector 3. Once again, Governor Denton Young assembled his finest agents, the Seeker, the Sword, and the Stalwart, tasking them with finding and retrieving the Sunfall before it can be claimed by the XCOM, or anyone else. Together with Carla Alwong, the reunited hunt trekked into the deadly wastes beyond the walls, and found out that they were not alone. Content warning for this episode includes graphic descriptions of violence, including dismemberment and burning. If this will be an issue for you, you may want to skip it once the fighting starts.
Quanjoy, I see, has been dropped into the hold.
Yeah.
Okay. It was inevitable.
Well, you're more comfortable down there. It's like a bunker.
It's the boat's bunker.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in Gov's Service Again, a side story for Splinters of a Broken Sun. When last we left off, our hunter heroes had made their way into the wastelands outside of Gov's domain, deep into those deserts, in pursuit of the 3rd Sunfall. 5 came off the sun as the suns apparently stopped working, and they are making their way towards the nearest one on the orders of Governor Young. They're accompanied, for some reason, by Carla Alwong, and they've made their way through the storm wall, and were confronted by a group calling themselves Baibar's Zephyr. They managed to convince the Admiral...
I think that name is made up still.
Of course it is. It's a role-playing game.
I don't know. I mean...
It's all made up, Pat.
Maybe for you guys, but this is real life for me. This is not a game.
Okay. I didn't know you were a member of the Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, but I guess...
This is what happens when I don't have to go to.
So,
but as you were saying, we ran into these cool pirates. We tried our best to impress them and be cool too.
Yeah, and they were duly impressed by your lies, that you were not from the church and were in fact attempting to take the church down. They don't seem super familiar with what things are like within the kingdom, so, well, we'll learn more about that as we pick up here. You've all gotten changed out of your protective anti-splinter corruption uniforms, or outfits rather, and into your regular clothes. That's the risk you've all chosen to take here, and
Did Carla also, I envision of any of us, Carla is the one likely to be like, no, I'm going to keep mine on.
Yeah, we'll say that she's still wearing hers. She thinks it will help her with your grift if people cannot see her face.
Yeah, she's got a lot of tells.
She really does. So she just puts her helmet back on as the 4 of you exit that room and I guess go to join the Admiral at his table.
All right. I guess Quanjoy is going to nod to Squall, since Squall's the grift master in this situation. You can get the ball rolling.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down at the big boy seat with the Admiral then.
Okay, it's all just benches, so
yeah.
I make sure I'm in like the center of the bench.
Okay.
And then I motion for my co-grifters to join me.
Zora will join you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. All joined up.
Carla sort of stands awkwardly in the back, and some of the other raiders.
Just looks like a broken robot.
Yeah.
Standing back there.
The other raiders are just sort of like looking at and poking her outfit, and she's flinching from one way or the other, but is trying to keep her cool and not say anything.
I look back and I'd say to the Admiral, can you have them not do that to her? She's of more delicate constitution than most people you'll find out here.
The Admiral looks up from, he's got a trencher of stale bread in front of him with some slop in it, and he looks up at the people and narrows his eyes, and they all immediately stop.
I give the Admiral a big thumbs up.
You see that the Admiral is, he's got sort of he's dark-skinned, weathered individual. He has a gray beard, which is unusual. Most people go from having their natural or original hair color to being dead without graying at all.
Yeah.
But he's got a gray beard, and you can see some gray hair peeking out from under the turban that he's got wrapped around his head. And he's just... Now that you can see his face, you can see he has hard eyes. They're hard, dark brown eyes. He looks like a guy who doesn't take shit, basically. He's an experienced, hard man, and he looks like it.
And I'm sitting across the table from him wearing a clown outfit from the circus.
Mm-hmm. One or two patches of grease paint behind your ears still lingering.
Yeah.
Slightly rumpled frills of your silk outfit from being underneath.
I'm just glad I'm not wearing the big clown pants.
He says, so, I don't know much about what's going on in that kingdom of yours over there, but we've been trying to find a way in for generations. We are just hoping to get some farmland. That's all we need. The way we live out here, it's hard. There's only so much squash you can eat, he says, gesturing at, what you now realize is just a squash puree in the stale bread trencher. He says, would you like some? You hungry?
Don't mind if I do.
Yes, thank you.
Zara will take some too.
Okay.
Do we need to roll anything for that?
No.
Are we being poisoned?
He raises a hand and gestures, and a gentleman wearing a rumpled chef's hat puts some trenchers in front of each of you. Carla does not seem interested. She just stays there in the back with her helmet on. So yeah, it is a stale bread bowl with squash puree in it because you can grow squash in the desert.
Weirdly, Squall is into it. He is really liking this pureed squash.
Quanjoy would be pretty into it too, as he probably lives off the land and eats a lot of squash as well.
It's not really spiced or anything, so it's a very strong squash taste. But it has been, pureed and boiled and cooked and so on. So that's what it is. It's lumpy squash puree. But it tastes fine if you're into that.
Super into it.
And it's filling.
But yeah, so I say, there's a lot of stuff going on in the kingdom. The main people in charge, as you know, are the church. And the three of us are, as far as the church knows, sanctioned agents of the church. But between us, we have doubts that things are being run the way they should be.
Ah.
And, the plight of you and your people only reinforces that.
I'm surprised you even know of us.
Well, I didn't until just now, but it confirms my suspicions.
Fascinating.
There are many who were living well, and it's at the expense of others.
It does appear to be the case. I'm glad to hear that you understand it.
So that's why we grabbed this young woman here who had a map to one of the location that we're all heading towards, and the three of us said, "This is our opportunity. This is our chance to pull the big grift." Are you a grifting man, Admiral?
He sort of looks around the room, and you hear some chuckles from the people behind him. Well, we use the term raiders, but occasionally we have to raid with more than our blades, if you know what I mean.
That's true. That's inside the city walls. You can't run around with a sword, otherwise the game's up pretty quick.
That's when you're left with just your wits.
Exactly. And if we're lucky, whatever fell down there.
So what do you know about it?
We know.
All we know is that it fell from the sun, and the last time this happened there was a mighty big commotion. So if we can get our hands on it, we figure, well, it'll give us a bargaining chip.
The same, we know that it fell from the sun, we know that it's out there, that people want it, and we know that at the very least, having it is better than not having it.
I see. And if you took it, where would you be taking it? What was your plan out here?
I looked at Quanjoy because Quanjoy is the one who would know how to get it. Allow me to introduce Quanjoy. He is the Seeker.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Like you, I'm sorry. My app crashed again, so I missed.
I basically just kind of said in general terms, we think that the system isn't fair.
No, I got all that.
Okay.
I missed 10 seconds.
Okay.
The Admiral
but
wants...
basically, in the terms of the question of what are we going to do with this thing once we get it, I deferred it to you because you're Mr. Wilderness. You'd know how to transport things.
Oh, yes. I'm just going to say, Admiral, like you, but not to the same degree. I live off the land, although I do it by choice. I'm not sure what this thing is. If it can be transported, we're just going to have to take a closer look and analyze it logically and see what we can do.
I see. Well, unless you've got a ship of your own hidden out there, the size of that thing, I don't think you can just carry it on your backs. And if you don't have anywhere to go still, it might make more sense for you to join up with us.
Well, go ahead, Patrick.
No, I was gonna say I looked to you two to get your impressions.
Well, my impression is that before we make any long-term decisions, we just want to see it for ourselves.
What's most important is continuing to convince them that we are on their side. I certainly think that being able to help them get their hands on this item will aid us in that particular quest.
Is that what you say out loud in front of the Admiral? Like, we need to tell them that, we're Gov.
Yeah, we want to make sure that they still think we're loyal, in other words.
Okay, so I say, well, certainly, as the Seeker says, in the short term, our aims are the same. So we'll work with you guys. We'll stick with you guys. And if we have something that we can offer you in the meantime, just let us know.
They said they wanted land. I'm sure that we can.
Well, we can't. I mean, while we're working together, I have land to give them right off the top of the head.
Well, here is where we have a conundrum, my friends. As far as we can tell, there's only one thing that's fallen in there that's of any use. We haven't gotten close enough yet, but we will soon. And you don't get to where I am now by being a sharing type of man. The only people I share with are my crew. He gives you a significant look as he finishes that statement.
Then will you have us?
If you prove yourselves worthy, I don't take on just anyone.
What shall we do to prove ourselves?
A smile creeps across his face, and it looks like it's an expression that isn't there very often. He says, well, you see, there's this thing that fell off the sun, and we want it.
Zora looks at you two guys.
Yep, I'm following you so far.
Yep.
Go on, please.
So, if you go and get it and bring it to me, then I'll see that not only are you capable, but I didn't have to risk my own people, and then you'll be my people, and we'll all have that thing together.
Oh, wait, didn't you say that this is something we won't be able to carry on our backs?
Oh, aye. That's why I'll give you one of my skiffs. And, of course, some of my crew will go with you.
I thought we had to prove ourselves without the assistance of your men or without risking them.
They'll watch.
They like to watch, huh? All right.
He winks.
I give Quanjoy like a high five under the table.
All right. I guess if that's how we're going to do it, that's how we're going to do it.
Very well, then.
As leader of the group, I accept.
Very well. Once you're finished with your squash, we can get you kitted out. Oh, and of course, he glances up at Carla. We'll keep her out of your way here.
And that's the story of how we abandoned Carla.
I would rather she comes with us.
She agreed. She is part of our group, and until we've proven that you will have us in yours, she's ours. You can't take stuff from us before we become part of your crew.
You told yourself that she's a prisoner you captured for her map.
Exactly. She's our prisoner.
But
right.
We have honor. She's our prisoner. We're keeping her safe. She may be here against her will, but we have honor, and we told her we would protect her, so we're going to.
Well, she'll be safer here than heading into that storm, he says, completely logically.
Still, she's under our protection, and she must remain with us.
Okay.
And
if you want
who's to say that you're not just going to kill her as soon as we go away? I don't, as you say, you are given to grifts yourself, just more violent grifts than we do in the city. So she comes with us, or we don't go. We're going to have to figure out how you want to play this, because whatever we do, she's coming with us.
Well, as you
We're
said,
rational men here.
Yes, we are all rational folk here. But here's the issue. She's not a part of your team. She's a prisoner of yours. If you take her with you, you have to watch the prisoner while also trying to extract that item from the crater. And it's just too difficult for me. As you said, you yourselves are also grifters.
Look, we're elite operatives. We are more than capable of watching a prisoner and getting a chunk of the sun back on a skiff we've never driven, under the watchful eye of your men.
I believe you, he says.
Excellent. Then we're all in agreement. Carla comes with us.
I don't think so.
Is there any way we can try persuading him? Let's
Actually,
say with a roll?
Yeah, you can absolutely try to persuade him.
I was gonna say we should make Zora arm wrestle.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Except I have been rolling like.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Trudy's bad at roll.
You might roll well.
Her life's about to change.
It could be.
I love this arm wrestling thing.
Okay.
I say, get your strongest member of your crew. If he can beat the sword over here in a fair arm wrestling contest, we'll do things your way. If not, you do things our way.
Okay. Well, I think you're going to have to roll to convince him.
Convince him for that?
I think so.
Okay.
It seems really reasonable. I don't think I would.
Yeah, I mean, settling things with the arm wrestling is how they do it in the desert. Am I doing defy danger with charisma?
With your charisma, yes.
Can I aid him?
Why not? What do you say to aid him?
Oh, I just wanted to roll and make his number better.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's good that you don't trust me.
Okay, I'm just going to say, I live off the land myself, and when we come to an impasse in the desert, this is how we settle things. It's a neutral and fair way.
All right, so aid or interfere. I don't think your desert rules sway too much.
How many bonds do you have with Squall?
Two.
Okay, so that gives you 2 and 8. So you get a +1 Squall to your defy danger with charisma. But if things go wrong, then Quanjoy is also implicated in the cost.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. Wait, no. So yeah, okay. So it's still not over a 10, but
you rolled a 7. So
yeah, but don't we have +1 or +2 from that?
You have +1 from that.
+1. Yeah.
Okay, so 8. So it's still the mixed success.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Admiral looks at you and he puts a hand to his chin and sort of like scratching at his beard there. And says, an honorable competition of arms. Very well. I accept your offer. However, if I defeat the sword, he says, obviously putting himself forward as the strongest person on his crew, then I get her weapon too.
Oh, shit.
And the sound we hear is just Carla thing in the background.
This is the sword slowly turning to look at both of you with an expression of just sheer controlled rage.
And I'm like, good, use it.
She turns back to him and goes, challenge accepted.
Okay.
Wait, but if she wins, we get your goggles.
Do we want the goggles or Carla?
Yeah.
Carla's already part of the deal.
If you win,
sweeten the pot a little bit.
If you win, you take Carla with you. If he wins, you go without Carla, and he takes Sora's sword.
Shit.
Is it? Can I aid or interfere just to like inspire Zora to like break this guy's arm?
I don't think so in this case.
Will she if she breaks his arm at the elbow, will she become the captain?
We'll have to see. All right, so they clear off the table, and people they form a circle around it.
I'm watching, but still eating squash.
Of course. And everyone's sort of stomping and cheering, and they're sort of chanting, Baibars, and so on. As the two of you put your elbows on the table and your hands on the table, and you clasp your hands and defy danger with strength, Zora.
Okay. By the way, are you guys cheering Zora on, or is she just...
Oh, yeah.
No, hell yeah. We're all like, Zora, Zora, Zora. And I'm making...
I have a mouthful of squash, and I'm break his arm.
I really have the fear right now. I'm so scared to hit submit. All right.
Does he break your arm?
Might as well.
All right, so you've rolled a 6.
I mean, we don't. This guy might roll a 1.
It's just she rolls.
It's just straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have your hands clasped, and your veins are sort of popping out of your head as you're moving slowly, and then you have the advantage, and slowly, and he's grunting, and then he pushes back, and he has the advantage, and people are like cheering and screaming. Carla is sweating profusely, but is like making her attempts at cheering through the helmet. You can hear her muffled like, "Go, Zora, go!" And it's going back and forth and back and forth. And it's like 5 minutes this competition is going on, as neither one of you can seem to get a decisive advantage. Until finally, the Admiral is able to, with a sudden fire in his eyes, and his eyes flash, and suddenly they're blue instead of brown for a moment. And he pushes your hand down to the table. And when you look up again, his eyes are brown, and it's like nothing ever changed. And maybe it was just your imagination. But he stands up to the wild cheers of his crew and raises his arms and turns around to face everybody and says, "Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha 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 ha! I am not the Admiral for nothing."
I look over at Quanjoy and say, should we just kill this guy?
I'd say it's totally up to Zora since it's her sword on the line.
Zora is an honorable woman.
He's distracted, and this isn't our honor duel. We can just cut his arm off while he's busy there.
We're gonna have to fight so many of those dudes. Then sorry,
not if they respect our dominance.
Oh my god! I'll follow your lead. Whatever you want to do.
Well, I'll ask our GM. What's more convenient for you?
I really do not care. It's whatever's most fun for you.
Well, I mean, if you're ever planning to have another in-gun service, this could cut that short. Look, we are faced with making increasingly bad decisions.
I know.
Like, it won't matter if we just pointedly make one real bad one, or if we just keep making a series of ones that turn out bad but had good intention.
Actually, I know what I'm gonna. And,
okay, I got your back. Whatever you're doing,
I'm gonna say, okay, now beat me. My sword failed, but I'm the leader, so I should have done this to start with. If you can beat her, you can do this with me.
He turns towards you and laughs. I don't think so. That wasn't the deal.
Well, then I at least go out to.
What's that?
I go to be like, okay, you won fair and square. But the important thing is I'm going for like a handshake or something where I'm touching his hand.
Okay.
And then I ignite my fiery sword of death.
Yes.
Okay, roll your flames of Gov.
Yes.
Oh God.
Is it Flames of Gov? Yeah.
That's the one. Okay, so you rolled a 9. So what weapon are you manifesting?
I was just going to surround my hand and set him on fire. But
so some claws?
I could also Kylo Ren it and do a sword.
Okay.
I think a big fiery claw is cooler, Pat. Like a bear claw. You don't know what a bear is, but just in what you imagine a bear to be. Like the kind of claws you imagine a bear to have.
And it turns out it's just like a pangolin.
Wait, bears have pangolins for claws?
Yeah, like an entire pangolin.
Oh, that's adorable.
Okay, so is that what you're...
Yeah, let's do like a giant clawed, like demonic hand.
Okay, I'm not going to make you roll to attack because you've taken him by surprise. So roll your damage. Oh, and sorry, you get to choose one of the tags there. Which one do you want? Keeping in mind you are inside of a wooden boat.
Let's remove the dangerous tag.
Oh, what a good idea. Totally unprompted as well.
I'm disappointed in you, Patrick.
I thought about doing +1 damage. I really thought about it. But
okay.
I'm like, I don't want to kill Carla.
So
she's
roll,
fine. She has a suit.
That's
It's not a fire suit.
Well,
yeah, if anything, the suit's actually more flammable.
All right, so roll your damage. So you do 5 damage, and you sort of... What does it look like when you do this? You're not killing him in this attack, but...
No, it just looks like I reached out, took his hand, and like made a big show of like doing like a Stallone and Carl Weathers like macho guy handshake, and then my hand turned into like a giant fiery demon hand, just to show like there are something stronger than the arm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm also like totally like hurting him with it. It's not just for show.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you are searing his arm badly, and he goes from laughing to like screams like ha ha ha, ha as you are burning through
I'm still dressed as a clown while I'm doing this. I want the listeners to remember.
Burning through the linen of his robes and into his arm, and you hear flesh sizzle, and you can smell it burning in the air. And then, all of the pirates grab their weapons and turn on you.
Well, thank God Zora still has her sword at the moment.
Yep, that's the important thing. We saved the sword.
Did we just lose? I just didn't want to say anything really cool or witty while you were...
So quick refresher of how combat works in this game. You make moves, you do attacks, and I only make moves against you if you're taking too long, or if you don't roll very well. Or if you start asking me what should I do, I will do mean things to you. That's how combat works in Dungeon World.
Okay.
Before the combat starts, is it possible to tell Carla to like go get under a bench?
She could try. The only bench is the one in the middle of the galley down here, but she could try to roll under it.
Or take cover in some.
Or go back to that bunk room or whatever.
She turns to run, and let's see, where did my roll go? Oh, there we go. One of the pirates grabs her arm and pulls her back against him and has a knife up to her throat.
Well, she's got a suit on.
She does have a suit on, and there's a knife at her throat, so we don't know exactly how that would shake out, but that means there's only, well, quote-unquote, only 9 pirates menacing you, but this one is also holding Carla hostage.
Yeah, that one's going to be the first one to go down.
Should I try to maybe I'll try to make a perfectly aimed shot because that always goes so well.
Yeah, and that's how Carla died.
I don't want to kill Carla. I do want to shoot an arrow at someone though as soon as possible.
So do that.
Okay, I want to do that.
I think I should step out of the way of the Admiral, and you should get his other arm.
No, I'm just going to shoot at one of the other pirates because I don't want to risk hitting Carla or Squall right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you roll an 11 on your volley. You have a clear shot. Let's deal your damage. So who are you shooting at? There's a bunch of pirates surrounding you, and then Admiral Baibar is...
2 red pirates and a blue pirate.
Okay, I want to shoot the pirate that is... Because bows work better at a longer distance. I want to get the closest one out of the way, or try to.
Okay, so there's one that's...
like the blue one off to the right.
Yeah, there's one that's right behind you. So you turn, and as you're turning, you bring your bow up and sort of point blank shoot your arrow into his chest, and let's see how that goes. Okay, and the arrow punctures through this person's chest, and you hear some gurgling. They're not dead, but they do have an arrow sticking through their chest, and he's not happy about that. Who else has a move they want to do?
What a wimp.
I think I should probably finish off the Admiral while I can, or at least try to. So I'm going to take my big flaming claw fist and try to just, claw grab his head.
All right, make your attack roll. Your intelligence attack roll. All right, that's a very good roll. You got a 14 there. So
I really turned that guy into Ghost Rider.
Yeah, so so roll your damage.
Oh yeah, no, this isn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, for him.
Okay, so you're burning. You burn away his scarf, and much of his gray hair goes up in flames, and you can see his face beginning to melt as he continues to scream, and his free arm is sort of flailing, trying to get out his big cutlass.
Well, the hope right now is, since he's looking really bad off, finish him and then hope that these other guys surrender once they see they're no longer under the protection of this dude. Okay. So Zora's going to attempt to attack, and because I've been rolling horribly, will almost certainly fail. Hack and slash, right? Hack and slash. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a 7, so you get to roll your damage.
Well, the guy with his head literally on fire gets to make a move against you.
So his hand finally grabs the hilt of his scimitar, and it comes out and slashes up towards you beside him as he's trying to get it around to stab Squall, but you are in the way of his draw, so the blade slashes you along the way. But do your damage. Okay, I just want to double
refresh
check.
Roll 20. It's giving me the worst rolls today.
It could be worse. Okay, does your sword have piercing on it? I can't remember.
Let me check.
And I forgot that this guy has armor, so he's actually got that many hit points.
Sure.
Okay, so in that case, you pierce some of his armor. All right, and he will also damage you for 4 damage, and one of that is piercing, so it ignores one of your armor.
Got it.
So as the blade sort of slashes up along your leg there, you feel extremely cold, and you look down and you see that the scimitar's blade is, in fact, it appears to just be ice.
Well, that's something.
Okay. The Admiral continues to swing that blade around, and Squall, I need you to defy danger with your dexterity.
Will do. I said that very overconfidently.
You never know. You might do it, and then you'll sound really cool.
No, I did not.
Or you might not. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, no. No, it's a reality now.
You take 8 damage, one of which is piercing, from this ice blade. And that forces your hand off of him as you're slashed across the chest with this ice that mars the symbol.
On my cool tattoo.
Yeah, it sort of mars the symbol of Gov on your chest. And you feel your flames briefly sputter, but they don't go out. You've still got your claw, one more use of it. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to try to finish. How close is this closest bandit to me that I shot with an arrow?
When you shot him with the arrow, he is staggering towards you, trying to stab you. So he's like an arm's length away.
So is there enough room for me to get another arrow into him? Is that realistic?
You can do that. You're skilled enough to fire arrows from this range.
I mean, at that range, it might be easier for you to just take an arrow and stab him with it.
No, that went very badly for me last game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to shoot another arrow at this dude.
Okay. You roll a 9. Okay. So you have to you have to move to try and get in this shot, but unfortunately that brings you into range of this guy's attack. So you get the arrow off just as he staggers into you with his blade. So let's see what that does. You take 3 damage.
Okay.
And I think you have 1 armor, so you take 2 damage.
Okay.
So you're down to 19 hit points.
Yep, got it.
Whereas they are going to take your full damage, as they take 5 damage from you. And that person dies with an arrow through their neck, and the arrow travels through that person's neck, and you lined it up so perfectly that the arrow slams into the person with a crossbow standing on the stairs above you. So the arrow...
Oh, yeah, and I also have that thing where people can't surprise attack me as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Pat.
No problem.
I'm proud of you, too.
Thank you, Trudy. That means even more to me. Pat's proud of me about anything. Like, I can say, Pat, I had half a glass of water today, and he's like, dude, I'm so proud of you.
It's true. Well, I mean, to be fair, I am proud of you staying hydrated, especially after St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, and all right, good. There we go. So that was 1, that was 4. And the person whom you strike with your arrow, the person who had the crossbow, they get shot directly in the eye, and so they sort of like, they reach a hand up, and then they slump down and tumble down the stairs dead.
Oh, dang.
That's crazy.
Yes, I'll take it. All right, let's keep this party.
Yeah, so I've still got one more use of my giant flame claw.
Mm-hmm.
I am just going to try to Fist of the North Star the Admiral with it.
Okay, give it a shot.
Sorry, it's just because I keep minimizing the window with
It's disgusting. It's just disgusting behavior.
Yeah, sorry. What am I rolling to attack on this one?
Hack and slap. Or no, your intelligence.
Intelligence. All right, so that's a 12.
It sure is. So do your damage.
And the damage is 1.
Okay. So you bring your claw in to his chest, and suddenly, even though one of his eyes is burned out and his face is half melted and you can see some of his skull, but his icy blade is in the way, and your fist sort of slams into the side of it, and the flame is quenched. So you're just sort of punching his sword, and your hand is cold because he's got enough armor.
I like that consequence, and your hand is cold.
Of course. But he gets no counterattack because he was simply blocking your assault and quenching those flames. And he gives a grin, but half of his face isn't working, so it just looks real gross.
I struggle not to vomit looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
Let me roll Constitution for that. 11. I do not vomit.
You do not vomit.
You make people look like that all the time, though. That's your job.
I know. Yeah. I'm kind of just like a walking atrocity machine.
You are. You absolutely are.
Especially due to all of my bad decisions in these role playing.
All right, Trudy, what do you want to do?
Cut this fool's head off.
Baibar. I keep wanting to call him Baibar. Baibars.
If you call him Baibar, you have to do it like Duke Phillips and be like, Baibar, king of the elephants.
Oh.
All right, if Baibar is still up, let's try this again.
All right, your sword swings back around and comes in for a perfect attack with a 12.
Yay!
So do your damage. All right, that's 7. You do 2 piercing, so you normally have 3 armor. Gets 2 armor, and your blade cleaves through him, and the Admiral falls to his knees, and then his head separates from his body and bounces around, and it kind of sticks to the ground because the flesh is half melted, so it doesn't really bounce more than once, but it leaves some skin behind the first time it does bounce.
Oh.
Can I pick up his ice scimitar and be like, I'm the captain now, like in Captain Phillips?
Yeah.
His ice scimitar, it clatters to the ground from lifeless fingers, and it is then just a normal scimitar, but you are welcome to pick it up.
No, you should forge a fire scimitar.
Yeah,
I'm your captain now.
I'm going to pick it up, and I am going to use my Gov's flame to light the scimitar as a symbolic gesture of replacing ice with fire.
Okay.
And can I roll to try to intimidate these jerks into obeying me as the new captain?
Yeah, you can try.
Okay, that's spout lore. I'm going to impress them with my Bible knowledge.
That's not spout lore.
I mean, would I just roll charisma, or what would I roll for this?
You are rolling your charisma, yes.
And question, can we aid because we're his intimidating force?
Yeah, and I just killed 2 guys.
You did.
With one
And
arrow.
those 2 guys were probably the least liked guys in the entire crew.
If you want to take the time to pause in the middle of this melee and make proclamations, you are going to get attacked while you're doing it, but you can do
we'll just
that.
let Pat proclaim. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm the stalwart. I just live oblivious to these things, and I declare myself the new captain of the ship with my 10 charisma roll and my flaming scimitar.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to do just a little thing here. What's your charisma modifier?
It is +2.
Okay, 3 of the pirates throw down their weapons and leave this deck.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yes, there are 7 pirates remaining, so I rolled a d7 plus your charisma modifier to see how many would surrender, and I unfortunately rolled a 1. So that's still 3 of them.
I'm glad rolling a 1 does not mean like complete failure in this case.
No, that would be no fun. So you've scared away 3 of them, but 4 still remain here.
How bad is it going to be if I try to take an aimed shot at the guy who's messing with Carla?
It's going to be tough. I would have to give you a penalty of
pretty tough.
Just -1.
Okay, so that I think maybe that would be a better job for someone else then. So I'm...
Oh, sorry. The person who was holding Carla captive is one of the ones who ran away, so she's just sort of slumped against a wall right now.
Okay, I'm going to shoot an arrow at someone.
So he shoots Carla by mistake.
No.
Oh, whoops. I thought there was still someone there.
Carla's my only real friend.
Oh, Romulus is going to be so hurt by that.
All right. So you roll an 8. And so you're shooting at people, but as you do, the skiff begins to move, and you suddenly lose your footing. So you have to fire a couple different times, and you subtract 1 ammo from your gear.
Okay.
But let's roll your damage. That's pretty good. The arrows that you do fire, because like as you're stumbling backwards, you just keep firing several arrows. Your arrows pierce through. Let's see. I need to remove from that. Oh, I have to do math. Just a second.
Shit, I didn't mean to make you do something terrible like math. And swear at the same time. Oh,
the GM knew what he was getting in.
I did.
He knew the risks that we would first try to do an insane bargain with his NPC and then kill them when we could not live up to it.
Yes, I did know. I said on Twitter the other night, I'm as prepared as I can be for these people. Okay, so we're going to remove...
if the main crew just like reads the newspaper in this fantasy world and is just like, oh my god, these psychopaths are still roaming with badges and guns.
All right, so your arrows, one of them slams into the back of this pirate in red that was approaching Squall with a spear, and the arrow takes them down. They die immediately. And your second arrow lances through into another pirate raider, and they too are killed as the arrow goes into and perfectly spears their Adam's apple, carrying it and pinning it to their cervical vertebrae as they gurgle to death. All right.
It's a living.
Yeah, that was a nasty shot there.
There are 3 more of these raiders, and they're saying, "You killed old Farty! Oh, you killed Stinko! How dare you! You killed John!"
For a second, I thought that was the Admiral's nickname. You killed old Farty, our boss.
Yeah, I thought these were all Stinky and old Farty. Like, they really didn't like this dude.
Old Farty, Stinko, and John.
Okay. And for some reason, John was the least liked out of the 3.
Well, John was the one who would steal people's squash rations.
Right. They didn't even give him a nickname because he sucked that much.
I mean, they eat a lot of squash.
They did, but it was in reference to toilet.
They eat a lot of squash, so like calling someone old farty, they have to fart a lot to be able to get past the background noise of just squash farts.
It's like that Reddit meme of boxes of Fiber One bars. It's just I can't remember the line. It's just been like it's like I'm inhaling through my mouth and exhaling from my ass.
Okay.
Speaking of, I'm going to try to stab someone with my new sword.
Okay, you've got a scimitar. You'll have to attack using strength, hack and slash then.
That's okay. Roll strength or roll hack and slash?
Roll hack and slash.
I miss.
We do. You're unfamiliar with a weapon that actually has any weight to it because you're used to fighting with weapons made of fire. It'd be like a Jedi or a Sith in your case, trying to fight with a real weapon.
I like how you specified a Sith in my case.
Oh yeah, dude, you're evil as shit.
So you are swinging with the cold steel, but it's just cold steel, not frozen anymore. But this pirate parries it with the bracer they're wearing on their left arm, and then stabs you with their sword for 4 damage minus whatever armor you have.
I scream a swear word as I'm stabbed.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant experience getting stabbed, obviously. Zora, we haven't heard from Zora in a minute.
Hell yeah, Trudy, mop them up.
Yeah, she'll go.
Show me how it's done.
She'll go. I strongly suggest that you submit to the light of Gov, who is not Torm, because you're about to get annihilated. And do
these pirates worship Torm? It's a good question.
All right, she's gonna smash because it's totally intimidating.
Okay, give it a try.
Except when it doesn't suck so bad. Ow.
Right, so smash is something that triggers when you do a really good hack and slash.
Ah, got it.
But let's see. Yeah, so roll your hack and slash, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so you got an 11. Not quite a smash, but you do damage them. So your blade whistles through the air, and you do how much damage?
6.
Okay, you lop the head off of this pirate who is charging towards you with a knife and a blade and a scimitar, and their bodies sags forward as they die. And your blade also sort of nicks the person next to them who was the one who just stabbed Squall, and sort of cuts their shoulder up pretty decently.
She points her fingers at her eyes and then points at him.
At the guy she just stabbed me.
You're next, bro, is basically what that gesture says.
Again, at the enemy guy or at me?
No, not at you.
She's saving you for much later in her career.
That'll be the ultimate grist.
Death is the ultimate grist. All right. Arrow time. Whoever's left.
There's 2 pirates left.
There's the guy Trudy just stabbed and another guy.
Ignore that. I was reading things and I hit it accidentally.
No, it's canon now. Sorry.
The one that's not close to Squall and Zora, or is furthest away from Squall and Zora. Shoot an arrow at.
So you roll another 8 in this case. Now that the skiff is underway somewhere, you are finding that it is more difficult to make shots in the cramped galley that you're in. So you have to take what you can get. So you'll be able to you'll roll less damage.
Okay.
So let's roll the damage. Oh. I rolled a 1 on your damage, and then I have to reduce that by 1d6.
Okay.
So you pull back on the arrow, and it just falls apart.
This arrow, as you pull it back and prepare to loose it, you notice that it's an arrow that's not Ramulus, of course, but one of the goats from Squall's cart was chewing on this arrow, and it sort of snaps. And you're not able to make that shot as you wish you had. The half arrow sort of flies and plunks against the pirate's knee, but they don't notice.
All right. I also love how I get disconnected every time, right, when you're telling me what my role is. That's exactly when it happens. Wow. So I come back on like, oh, okay, this is the aftermath of that. All right.
Okay, so I'm up again. Well,
if you want to be.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, the alternative is you continue stabbing me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to cast the sword down and just go Flames of Gov on whoever is within range. I don't care if it's a bad guy or Zora or Carla. I've just been stabbed. I'm going insane.
What?
No, no. But the guy who stabbed me, I am going to try to Flames of Gov him.
All right, give it a shot.
Let's roll that. That is a 10.
That is good. You get 2 tags.
I get 2 tags, so I'm going to remove dangerous and do +1 damage.
Awesome. Now make your attack.
I am just furious. It is an 11 attack roll.
Okay. Sorry. Tell me, I cut you off. What's the weapon you've created?
The weapon I am using is a cool Ninja Turtle sai, like Raphael would have.
Yeah.
Because he's the turtle who I think got stabbed the most.
Okay.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. And my damage is a 6.
Okay. So your blade carves into Well, are you actually going to stab someone with your sai, or are you, like Raphael, going to grab their weapon and spin it away from them and then kick them instead?
Yeah, no, it's going to be like Ninja Turtles 2. I'm mostly just turning people around and shoving. But no, I'm going to stab this fool.
All right, you stab your flame sai into this person's chest, and as gouts of flame erupt from that cavity and they're screaming, you do spin them and shove them, Ninja Turtle style, into the last standing raider, who is also caught up in the flames and burned to death.
I was hoping you were going to say, like, you shove him into him and on impact he explodes.
That wouldn't be great on the inside of a boat's hold. Okay, so there are some fires still burning from Squall's assaults here, but they're not out of control. They're just like some burning bodies here. But all the raiders here are gone.
We have a moment to attend to those and stop, drop, and roll them. We can make Carla give us a hand with that, with handling the dead bodies.
I mean, we might as well just burn down this ship anyway, right?
Don't we want to take it?
Yeah, I want. This is mine now. I'm the captain now.
I kind of like the smaller ones, but okay.
Well, why don't we each take a smaller one, and
all right.
He takes the big one.
Okay, that works. There's one more pirate?
No, they're all dead now. The ones down here are dead.
Oh, okay.
3 ran away, and you don't know where they've gone.
Okay, let's put out the fires.
And I look over to Carl and say, you know how to drive one of these things, right?
I don't even know what this is. She looks and sounds for the first time annoyed with you as she's there, like, rolling over these smoldering bodies.
Well, you'll never know what you're capable of until you give it a chance.
Gov works in mysterious ways, Carla.
So
maybe you're meant to be a boat captain, Carla.
So this,
I hope that, like, next time when we do like the third one of these, it's like Carla has found her sea legs and her sand legs, I should say, and is just like the queen of the sand boat industry.
All right, so this skiff is going quickly somewhere. You don't know where. It's jerking back and forth occasionally as the storm winds go. So if you're done down here,
let's
probably go upstairs.
Yeah, let's go find where this thing is steered.
Okay, who's going up the ladder first?
Zora will go up first.
The thing is your weapon like practical enough to be able to get it out in a tight space, like going up a ladder?
Zora should climb up the ladder while Quanjoy with the bow and arrow sits on her shoulders.
Zora will gladly carry someone on her shoulders. She loves being able to make massive displays of her own strength.
Okay, I'll totally go on Zora's shoulders, and I'll have my knife ready to slash some ankles.
Okay.
All right.
So Zora, you have Quanjoy on your shoulders, and you climb up onto the deck of the skiff here, and the sand is immediately buffeting you as soon as you get the hatch open. You look around on the deck, and you don't see anyone, but the main sail, is swinging wildly back and forth in the wind with nobody to attend to it, so you would guess that somebody lowered the sail and then jumped off the skiff to sort of maybe in an attempt to kill you.
Okay, let's double team that sail. Since we both have edged weapons, we can perforate it enough that it won't be a useful sail anymore, maybe?
Also, that'll get us stuck, but...
It will get us stuck, and if we want to get back to the place we were trying to go to, this might be helpful for getting us there. Not that we have any idea where we are.
Well, but, okay. I'm down to try to fix a sail. Why not? Well, let's do it in the dumbest way possible.
Do sailboats exist, like, on the water?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
The sectors on the northern section of the clock that is Gov's domain have water, like they have lakes.
So the idea of a sail would be like a totally unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's conceivable that some of you have been up to those parts of the domain and have seen sailboats out fishing and stuff.
Okay.
And you'd be familiar with the concept of a sailboat.
Me, as a human, am not familiar with the concept of how sailboats work. I'm assuming that there's some sort of rope that you use to...
How about we all just make intelligence rolls, and whoever gets the highest can sail.
Am I still stunned?
Yes, you are still stunned. There's nothing that has happened that would change that.
My intelligence is not great right now, guys.
Is there anything I could do with wisdom on a sail?
Let's see.
Know how sails work? like from my prior knowledge, because intelligence, figuring new stuff out, not that good.
So the spout lore move would be to tell me what your character knows about how sailboats work, and that's intelligence. The discern realities wisdom move would be trying to figure out how this might work.
Can I just field medic the boat?
You can. It won't do anything, but you can slap a poultice on the boat. I'm not going to stop you from doing that.
All right, I'm going to discern realities if I can.
All right, you got a 9, so you can ask me one of the questions from the list.
Ask who's really in control.
Between the two, what should I be on the lookout for?
One big thing to be on the lookout for is the boom of this sail, which is, do you know what a boom is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the big, long, horizontal bar at the bottom edge of the sail, and it's swinging around, and it doesn't take up the whole deck, but there is another smaller sail that's not down. It's got a boom too, but you don't need to worry about that one. But the big boom for the main sail is swinging around, and it could hurt you pretty badly if it nails you.
Okay, everyone watch out for that spinning boom thing.
I watch out for it.
All right. Do any of your characters know anything about boats, or do you want to find out if your character knows anything about boats by rolling?
Let's find out if I know anything about boats.
All right, let's find out.
For all I know, I'm from the northern region.
That's possible too.
So what would I roll to know?
Spout lore.
Spout lore. That's an 8.
Okay, so that means I believe I give you something interesting but not useful. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry,
that's kind
ignore
of a
that.
perfect summary of this.
That's a perfect summary of how Squall interacts with this game world. It's something interesting but not useful.
Yeah, okay. You are seeing that there is a pattern to how the skiff moves, and that pattern is based on the position of the sail. When the wind is filling the sail in one direction, the boat goes in the direction opposite the wind going to the sail, and vice versa. So you see that pattern. You know how the sail works.
Wow.
And can I make our resident strong woman just go hold the sail?
Yeah, she'll go do it. Give her the orders. What does she need to be doing?
First, I'm going to explain at length what I've observed from my Stalwart roll.
The boat's wildly rocking back and forth.
Well, I mean, I feel like I have to break this down for Zora because her brain is stunned. But then I say, if you hold it this way, we should be able to direct it the other way. We still won't be able to see where we're going, but it'll keep us on track.
All right, she's gonna follow instructions. What should I be rolling?
Well, just be strength.
Got it.
Defy danger with your strength. Okay, well, that's fine. It's the same roll anyway. All right, so you rolled an 11 there. So, Zora, you grab a rope that you see trailing off the boom, and you are able to haul the sail into the position Squall indicates, and the sand boat levels out, and now it's just going in one direction.
All right, one direction's better than whatever we were doing before.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Is there anything we can make Carla do? Like go look for a map in the captain's quarters or anything like that?
Yeah, you can ask her to do that.
Hey, Carla, go do that.
She says, okay.
Please.
And she says, all right. And she is moving a little uncertainly, but at least the boat is at least steady now. And she goes up the stairs to what you assume is the captain's quarters. And she's like pulling on the door, and she says, it's locked.
Oh, for the love of Pete. Do one of us have any...
I mean, I could burn the door down. But
there's a lock on it. There's probably a key that goes in the lock.
Yeah, I'll look on the Admiral's dead body and see if there's a...
Yeah, there's a key. He's wearing it around his neck.
No.
What remains
probably
of his
melted.
Well, this is gross, but here's the key. Quanjoy will actually go with Carla, just with knife in hand, in case there's something weird in there.
She gives you a thankful look.
All right, so
go ahead.
Use the key, open the door.
Yeah, the door opens, and you see the captain's cabin. It's actually quite nice. There's some sort of threadbare but comfortable looking sheets and pillows and stuff on a bed that is at least wide enough for one person, unlike the cots you saw below that looked very uncomfortable. And there's a desk, and on the desk there's a compass of some sort. It's not a traditional compass, which would not work in this world, but some type of directional indicator, and a map.
And do we still have, does Carla still have the map that we were originally given?
Oh yeah, she's got it. She's got it rolled up on her in a container on her belt.
All right. And then my other question is, can we still see the big glowing color thingy, or is it all burned out?
Let's see. If you go outside and you get somewhere with a good vantage point and you look around, you might be able to spot it.
But I'm beholden to staying on the top deck of the ship because it's moving.
Yeah, or you could climb up to
let's
the top
do
of the
that.
sail or something.
Yeah, let's do that. Why not?
Okay, so you want to climb up the sail as it is being held by Zora in the middle of a windstorm. So you're defying danger with your dexterity here.
All right.
Let's see how that goes. All right, you get a 7. So you're climbing up.
Now you get a hard bargain as you.
So as you are climbing up the sail here, there's a term specifically for that wooden thing that holds the sail up. The mast. The mast is what I'm looking for. You climb up the mast of the main sail, and as you are getting up to the top, you are getting sort of tossed one way or the other, and the wind shifts, and the canvas of the sail sort of kicks you in the stomach as it billows out in the other direction, and the boat rocks. And you have to make a choice because your supplies are starting to fall off your belt. So either you're going to lose some of your supplies, or you're going to keep your supplies but fall off the mast and get hurt.
Yeah, I don't need supplies. I don't plan on living long enough to use them.
Okay.
In theory, we could just, unless they stripped the ship bare in the course of jumping off, in theory, we do have some supplies we could raid from the captain's quarters.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
All right, so you hang on, and you see one of your ammo and one of your rations fly off into the storm.
Totally fair.
But you get up to the top and you look around, and from up there you can see the direction of the nearly collapsed but still sparking mushroom cloud. So you can just
so we can steer the boat in that direction.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's a good moment for a break.
All right.
Well, now that we've killed everyone and gotten pointed in the right direction.
More murder on the horizon.
All right, so I'll see you folks soon.